I'm a sucker. I'm still gonna watch this thing.
Just what you've been waiting for. Movies, TV, music, and more. Follow, subscribe, stay up to date. Episodes drop every other Monday. It's the Matt, watch that. It's the Matt, watch that. It's the Matt, watch that podcast.
Welcome to the Matt Watch That podcast, the place for reviews, rants, and randomness. I'm your host, Matt Seroski, filmmaker, film fan. Each episode, I'm going to watch a movie or TV pilot that I probably should have seen, but never got around to. It could be a recent favorite, critic's choice, or cult classic. To join in on the conversation, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've discussed, or suggestions as to what I should see next, use the hashtag MattWatchThat on social. Before we start, in the past few weeks, as we head into the summer season, there have been a lot of trailers released for blockbuster movies and high-profile series. And today, I'm going to be talking about one in particular, Alien Earth. Now, I've spoken about my love-hate relationship with the Alien franchise. I love Alien and Aliens. I'm one of the few that actually can tolerate Alien 3, and I basically hate everything else. And my reason has always been, I feel like we're just watching the same thing over and over again. I want a twist. And from the looks of this trailer, Alien Earth might deliver it. The one part that has me most intrigued is that these scientist people said that they discovered 5 new life forms. And later on in the trailer, you see one that looks like a bit of a jellyfish. But if you pause it just right, you can actually read a little bit about that species. It sounds like it sucks out your eyeball and enters your body through the cavity, and then it takes over your brain. Now that sounds pretty cool to me. The other thing I liked about the trailer is that one of the characters was carrying a samurai sword, or at least that's what it looked like. Now that's something we've never seen in the Alien universe before. So at the very least, this trailer has piqued my interest. And, let's be honest, even if it didn't, I'm a sucker. I'm still gonna watch this thing. So check out the trailer, let me know your thoughts, and if you're gonna be watching Alien Earth. On to the main attraction. Each review will end with a ranking out of 5 stars. 1 star is skip it, 2 stars watch at your own risk, 3 stars standard fare, 4 stars worth checking out, and 5 stars must see. Now, if I give a title 5 stars, it doesn't mean I'm comparing it to Casablanca, Jaws, or Seinfeld. I rank titles based on other movies or TV series in that genre and at that time period. On this episode of the podcast, I'll be reviewing The Cannonball Run from 1991. It was directed by Hal Needham, who helmed road trip comedy Smokey and the Bandit and its sequel, action comedy Hooper, NASCAR comedy Stoker Ace, and wrestling comedy Body Slam. He won an honorary Academy Award in 2013 and a Scientific and Engineering Award for developing the Shotmaker Elite Camera Car and Crane. The screenplay was written by Brock Yates, who scribed Smokey and the Bandit 2, and wrote the book Enzo Ferrari, The Man, the Cars, the Races, the Machine, which was adapted into the 2023 film Ferrari, starring Adam Driver. He was the executive editor at Car and Driver magazine, and conceived of the cross-country Cannonball Baker Sea to Shining Sea Memorial Trophy Dash, better known as the Cannonball Run. He was inducted into the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America in 2017. It stars Burt Reynolds as J.J. McClure, the biggest star in the 70s and early 80s, best known for Deliverance, White Lightning, The Longest Yard, Gator, Smokey and the Bandit, The End, Hooper, and Sharky's Machine. He had a career resurgence in the 90s with the series Evening Shade, which he starred in for 4 seasons, 99 episodes, as well as an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor in a Supporting Role for Boogie Nights. I did a career retrospective in Season 1, Episode 8 of the Matt Watch That podcast, so check that out. Dom DeLuise started his career as a stage manager and actor at the Cleveland Playhouse, before making his off-Broadway debut in Another Evening with Harry Stoones, alongside Barbra Streisand. His first role on television was as host on the local children's series Tinker's Workshop, but his breakthrough would be as nervous Sergeant Collins in the Cold War drama Failsafe. He would show off his comedic chops in the variety show The Entertainers, and receive praise for his performance in The Glass Bottom Boat. But he would receive the most notoriety with his partnerships with friend Burt Reynolds and filmmaker Mel Brooks, where he was featured in Blazing Saddles, Silent Movie, History of the World Part 1, and Spaceballs. He would go on to voice characters in An American Tail and its sequel, Oliver and Company, All Dogs Go to Heaven, and The Ren and Stimpy Show. Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise would co-star in Silent Movie, The End, Smokey and the Bandit 2, The Cannonball Run and its sequel, and lent their voices to the animated film All Dogs Go to Heaven. The Cannonball Run features an all-star cast with Roger Moore, Farrah Fawcett, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Adrienne Barbeau, Terry Bradshaw, Bert Convy, Jamie Farr, Peter Fonda, and Jackie Chan. Burt Reynolds and Bert Convy co-created the syndicated game show Win, Lose, or Draw, whose set was modeled after Reynolds' living room where they played during game nights. This is something to look out for. Director Hal Needham and writer Brock Yates raced in the real Cannonball Run, and the ambulance used in the movie was their actual vehicle in the race. So let's jump into it. The Cannonball Run is a cross-country outlaw race that starts in Westport, Connecticut, where drivers compete against each other as they travel 3,000 miles, averaging 80 miles per hour, to their final destination of the Portofino Inn in California, all the while attempting to avoid the cops. The teams consist of J.J. McClure, a noted race driver and his chief mechanic in a converted, souped-up ambulance, Seymour Goldfarb Jr., a British playboy who drives an Aston Martin DB5 and fancies himself as a James Bond figure, veteran racer Jamie Blake, alongside his partner, Morris Fenderbaum, who bets 20 big ones at 50-1 odds with a payout of $1 million, Bradford Compton, a wealthy executive on a motorcycle, Marcy Thatcher and Jill Rivers, who drive a black Lamborghini, and Abdul Ben Falafel, a Middle Eastern oil baron. Here's a quote without context: "You may be a little overqualified for this job." The Cannonball Run is a loud, destructive ride. It reminds me when amateur filmmakers try to make a movie and they have no script, cast their friends, and make up scenes on the spot. The number of stunts that are pulled in the first 10 minutes are astounding. A car skidding around a blockade of cops, a plane landing in the middle of a road, a man parachuting out of a plane on a motorcycle, a car driving into a pool. It almost felt like an exercise of what can we make the studio pay for? We're introduced to the characters and their relationships, but it took a while to get into the actual crux of the story, which are the details of the cross-country Cannonball Run. Once the race starts, the film picks up. There are some funny scenes as to how the racers avoid or lose the cops along the way. Despite the star power, the actor who shines the brightest and gets the largest laughs from me is character actor Jack Elam as Dr. Nicholas Van Helsing. There was also a little too much reliance on sound effects for laughter, but that feels nitpicky. This is a fun movie. You're not going to learn anything from it. It's a popcorn flick. With this talent, I do wish it was a little better, maybe the characters fleshed out and their competition more adversarial, but it seemed like everyone was having a good time. The end credits do feature bloopers, which should be a requirement for all comedies. Now for a little trivial trivia. The female voice of Roger Moore's car is June Foray, noted voice actress who lent her talents to the characters Rocky the Flying Squirrel and Natasha Fatale from The Rocky and Bullwinkle Show, Nell Fenwick from Dudley Do-Right, Granny and Witch Hazel in the Looney Tunes shorts, Lucifer from Cinderella, Cindy Lou Who from How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and Grammy Gummy from The Adventures of the Gummy Bears. The Cannonball Run was produced by Golden Harvest and distributed by 20th Century Fox. It was filmed at the Portofino Inn in California, Las Vegas, Nevada, Eads Bridge in St. Louis, Missouri, Old Tucson, Arizona, and Atlanta, Georgia. The cinematography was captured by Michael C. Butler, whose filmography includes Western, The Missouri Breaks, thriller sequel Jaws 2, and action sci-fi flick Megaforce. It was edited by Don Camburn, who worked on road trip drama Easy Rider, coming-of-age drama The Last Picture Show, action comedy Hooper, supernatural sequel Ghostbusters 2, and was nominated for a Best Film Editing Academy Award for Romancing the Stone. And William D. Gordine, known for crime drama Sharky's Machine, comedy The Great Outdoors, comic book adaptation Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and family comedy Beethoven. The score was composed by Al Capps, who wrote the music for horror Sasquatch, The Legend of Bigfoot, action comedy Stoker Ace, and crime drama Running Hot. The soundtrack featured songs by Ray Stevens, Lou Rawls, and Chuck Mangione. The runtime is 1 hour 35 minutes. It had a budget of $17 million and earned $160 million at the box office. It was the 6th highest grossing domestic film of 1981. It spawned a sequel, The Cannonball Run 2 in 1984, and a spin-off, Speed Zone, in 1989, which was known as The Cannonball Run 3 in some regions. On the Ski Index, I give it 3 out of 5 stars. If you've seen The Cannonball Run and have opinions on the movie, let me know what you think using the hashtag #MattWatchThat. Moving right along, each episode, I'm going to post clips that I think people should watch. It could be movie trailers, music videos, interviews, or something completely random. Search for my YouTube page and there'll be a playlist called Matt Watch That Playback. Greg Giraldo was a stand-up comedian, actor, and writer, best known for his sharp wit, dark humor, and intelligent commentary on culture, relationships, and the human experience. Known for his appearances on roast specials, his insightful and self-deprecating style, and his ability to blend social commentary with raw humor, Giraldo made a significant impact on comedy. Greg Giraldo was born in the Bronx and raised in Queens. He attended Columbia University, where he graduated with a degree in English. He was admitted to Harvard Law School and briefly worked as a lawyer before shifting to stand-up comedy. Giraldo began his comedy career in 1992 and became a regular at the Comedy Cellar in New York City. His comedic voice was a mix of intelligence and irreverence. He brought a unique perspective to his performance, blending satire, sarcasm, and sharp insights into a rapid-fire delivery that captivated audiences. It didn't take long for him to gain a following in the world of stand-up comedy, landing spots on late-night talk shows and comedy specials. He started making frequent appearances on Comedy Central Presents, The Late Show with David Letterman, and Late Night with Conan O'Brien, but became a standout star on the Comedy Central roasts of Pam Anderson, Flava Flav, and David Hasselhoff. His ability to deliver biting, unapologetic humor in a setting where no subject was off limits made him one of the most respected and admired performers in the roast world. While Giraldo was primarily known for his stand-up comedy, he appeared on Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn, which was an influential talk show known for its edgy humor and sharp discussions on current events. One of the most viral moments happened with Dennis Leary, where the two went back and forth with some personal jabs, and host Colin Quinn had to intervene. Despite his career success, Greg Giraldo struggled with personal demons throughout his life. His struggles with addiction became part of his act, and he often used humor to cope with the difficulties he faced. Giraldo was known for his self-awareness and honesty, both on stage and in interviews, which helped make him a relatable figure to fans. He tragically passed away from a prescription drug overdose on September 29, 2010, at the age of 44. His death shocked the comedy world, as he was considered one of the most talented and respected comics of his generation. Greg Giraldo's career may have been cut short, but his contribution to comedy remains undeniable. From his rise as a sharp stand-up comic to his prominence in the Comedy Central roasts, Giraldo became known for his intelligence, brutal honesty, and fearless approach to humor. His ability to balance dark and light subjects, and to reflect on his own flaws with humor, made him a beloved figure in comedy. Now it's time for the recommendation. Yes, that's the word recommendation with Matt in the middle. I'm going to end each podcast with my own recommendation of a movie or TV series. Today I'm talking about Landman. It's a gripping drama set in the heart of West Texas, revolving around the high-stakes world of the oil industry. The series follows Tommy Norris, a hard-nosed crisis manager with a shadowy past. As vice president at a powerful oil company, Tommy navigates a dangerous landscape of corporate rivalries, legal battles, and personal vendettas while managing the exploitation of the vast oil fields in the Permian Basin. The show captures the raw tension between the wealth generated by oil and the human toll it takes on families, communities, and the environment. Tommy's relationships with those closest to him, his ex-wife Angela, his son Cooper, and his daughter Ainsley, serves as a backdrop for exploring the moral complexities of working in an industry that thrives on both profit and destruction. The series also delves into the machinations of Monty Miller, a ruthless oil tycoon, whose ambitions and cutthroat business tactics challenge Tommy at every turn. As the power dynamics shift, alliances are tested and buried secrets come to light. The series stars Billy Bob Thornton, Ali Larter, Jacob Lofland, and Michelle Randolph as the Norris family, as well as John Hamm, Demi Moore, Mark Colley, James Jordan, and J.R. Villarreal. The series was co-created by Taylor Sheridan and Christian Wallace. Landman explores the personal cost of success in a world where loyalty can be bought and ethics are often sacrificed for profit. At its core, Landman is about the intersection of greed, family, and survival in a world that runs on oil, highlighting the lengths that people will go to protect their empire, whether it's corporate giants or small-town landmen. It's a gritty, character-driven series with a sharp political edge, tackling themes of environmental devastation, corporate corruption, and the price of progress in an unforgiving American landscape. I've only seen a couple of episodes, but I've really been digging what I've seen so far, enough at least for a recommendation. Landman has produced one season of 10 episodes. In March, it was renewed for a second season. That's all for this edition of Matt Watch That. Thanks for listening to me babble. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've discussed, or suggestions as to what movie or TV pilot I should see, use the hashtag MattWatchThat on social. Head over to mattseroski.com for all the latest news and updates, and come back next time for the reviews, rants, and randomness. Tackling themes of environmental devastation. Let's try that one again. And conceived of the cross-country Cannonball Baker Sea to Shining Sea. I am plowing through this.